Well, hello and welcome, manga and comic connoisseurs. I'm your host for today's issue, Xboxgut. I am also joined by my co-host, Luke, aka MLGman.
Yes,
And
sir.
this is just going to be another video, or another issue rather, of us just chopping it up about stuff we've been currently reading. Another segment about stuff we didn't so much enjoy. Um, and another segment about the Game Awards. I'm sure anyone that's into comics or manga and stuff like that are into video games as well. And I'm pretty sure everyone saw the sweep that Expedition 33 did this weekend. So I thought that'd be a good thing to talk about. And then I'm sure we could wrap it up with just some random shit that we usually talk about off stream and stuff like that. So yeah, it'll be a good time. So what have you been currently reading, man?
Well, over I guess the last week or so since we did our last episode, I did read Animal Man by Grant Morrison. I have the omnibus for that. Pretty slim omnibus. It's only like 26 issues long. So I actually blazed through it, man. I started it one night, and then I finished it the next night. Like, so I made it very quickly through that, which I have some mixed opinions on, which I suppose we'll talk about here in our next segment or so. But other than that, man, I've just been trying to knock out some of the smaller books I have on my shelf because I don't want to get too deep into something big while we're still trying to work our way through Berserk. We don't want to get too invested in something when we have something else on our plate at the moment. So that being said, I've been reading Nightwing by Tom Taylor, one of the more acclaimed runs of Nightwing, at least probably the most acclaimed run in recent history. It's been pretty good so far. I've enjoyed that a lot. There's some things that I'll talk about in the next segment, but yeah, that's about it. What about you, man?
Nah, man, I've just been reading. Okay, so I'm continuing on through my Hulk, Immortal Hulk omnibus. It's kind of hard to get back into whenever I took such a deep break to wrap up the Golden Age. It's still great though. Art is still fantastic. Just a little bit harder to get into. Obviously midway through the run. Another thing that shows why single issue collecting is kind of not for me personally. It's just hard to remember, man. It hasn't even been a month in between the issues that I've read. So yeah, it's been hard to remember all the minute details and stuff like that about Immortal Hulk. But it's still fun. It's still awesome. And whenever I read Hulk, I guess I'm not really reading it for the story. I guess I'm reading it for more or less the action. And it delivers. Al Ewing, right, is the one who did Immortal Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he delivers on that action, man. The whole Abomination arc has been super fun. Um, it's been kind of intense to be completely honest with you. But other than that, I've been reading. I finished up my Bug Wars trade, which
Oh
is
yeah,
something
I
that you
forgot about
recommended
that.
to me a while ago, and it was something that I actually did pick up a couple of months ago, but I never got around to it because I was in the middle of some bigger series like Hulk, Berserk, and reading all my ongoings and stuff like that. I think I did pick it up while I was about done with Invincible as well, so I finally got around to it. And for you guys that don't know at home, I'm trying to 100% all of my comics before I pick up anything substantially big like an omnibus or something like that. Or if I do, which I am eventually going to get into Spawn, the first compendium. If I do end up really enjoying that, I will continue to buy what is out. Without having to finish my entire collection before I want to get around to reading Spawn. If I want to finish it, I'll finish it. And then those two boxes right there, there are some old school, I would say maybe Silver Age comics that I'm not really into anymore. Whenever I first got into collecting, so I'm thinking about maybe selling those off if I even can. Um, but I need to give them another chance because I do like both of those series that I did pick up, including obviously Firestorm, which is an underrated DC hero in my opinion.
You got
Um,
what's the other one? JLA or JSA
uh, yeah, Justice League International.
or J? I don't know. JI. I don't know what they call it.
Yeah,
JLI.
JLI.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and it's pretty fun. It just reminds me of like a Saturday or Sunday morning cartoon where it's super funny. Not really too many. Yeah, there's some shit that happens in it that's pretty heavy stakes, but it always leans back in its comedy, which I do need to give a chance. It's hard to get into the older stuff, in my opinion. Like if it's hard for me to get into the blue and gold omnibus for X-Men, it's hard for me to get into something especially as old as JLI or Firestorm Nuclear Man or Man actually. Um, which is a good segue, I guess, to bringing me into. Oh no, let me talk about Bug Wars.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
do
not gonna
that.
skip over to Bug Wars. Yeah, Bug Wars, man, fucking awesome. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to see where it goes. I thought it had some pretty good emotional beats to it as well, with the father, the mother, the brother. The whole family aspect is pretty awesome. I really do enjoy it. But the book really does shine in what you've told me before, Luke, is its world building. The world building is almost too much. There's so much shit going on. There's so much different factions, and it's such a fun book because you get this sense of like Honey I Shrunk the Kids as if it was fucking M rated or R rated.
Yeah, dude.
It's fucking awesome. It's badass. There's some I think the first issue opens up with not opens up, but towards the end of it, our main character Slade's the Slaymaker. I'm pretty sure that's what his name is.
Slade
He
Slaymaker, dude. It's so fucking metal, by the way.
Yeah, that name is fucking dope. And he like punches a fucking dude's head, or not a dude, I guess a mite, an ant, I guess you could say. He punches his fucking head off right away. And there's definitely like a mystery aspect to it. And with the whole amulet, his father, and just the entire world building around the entire book itself, the way I guess well, I guess it is a pretty big spoiler. There's a major character that you think is dead in the book, and I'm sure you can catch my drift here, Luke. There's a certain character that's pretty major that they say is dead very early on in the trade, and then he ends up coming back as almost like a force ghost type thing towards the end, and he right before Slade and this character make their part ways, the character that is in question, he's like, "Don't go into the woods, don't go into the woods," and still we don't know what that means or anything like that. But it looks like there's some pretty big critters out in the woods that are gonna fuck some shit up on that final issue, on that final page. Super fun. I really enjoyed the art. It's not really my personal favorite art style, um, but it definitely does get the whole gruesome. And don't forget, guys, if you're gonna get into Bug Wars, there's only one trade. It's very brutal, very violent, very sexual, which is extremely surprising. And you know me,
Speaking of that,
I
real
think
quick, did you know what I'm talking
please,
about with the bus scene?
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's shit, pretty weird. There's some weird stuff, but weird in a good way that I personally like it. Like, it has a Gantz undertone to it as well. Like, it's not really the same story whatsoever, but like the whole sexual thing about it, it's like kind of edgy, but kind of like, oh shit, all right, here we go. This is some weird shit, but all right, I'm with it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's a good time. I really enjoyed it, and I for as much as I enjoyed the second half of the trade, it doesn't take away from the first half. The first half is extremely, not extremely, it's slow in my personal opinion. Whenever Slade, you know, drinks down with his bug pock, like his favorite bug pock that leads him to that you know uh, plot device, I guess we'll call it, the amulet,
Mm.
that shrinks him down. It's super fun, but the second half really does get fucking intense. And Wista is her name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a super cool character. There was another little gripe that I did have with it, which isn't even that big of a big deal. Because when you're enjoying it and you're having a good time, it doesn't really matter, I guess. But it was hard for me to decipher who was on Slade's side and who was against Slade, because that King Ant guy, like where he's like kind of like darker and he has like the antennas and he has that big old sword. I couldn't tell if he was with Slade or against him.
That's kind
And
of
and then
the point, man.
okay, so oh, I see. Okay.
Everybody
Well,
just
because I was
wants his
like,
power, and everybody's scared
yeah.
of what he can bring too.
Yeah. So okay, well that definitely does explain it, because I think they were like fighting at the first half of the trade, and then the last half him and Wista were trying to save Slade,
Mm.
or something along those lines. But yeah, other than that, guys, I thoroughly fucking enjoyed it. I think it's so worth the price. I'm sure it's even cheaper on Amazon right now. It's worth the full price already. And there's one thing that I do gotta say though, man. I really am happy that they're gonna continue this series because it would feel extremely unfulfilling if that was the end, which I'm pretty sure that was the end, right?
Of yeah, of the first arc. Yeah.
Okay, well, wasn't it like a limited series? Only going to be like 6 issues, and then it got extended into a full regular.
I'm not sure about that. I think it was always going to be something bigger. Uh, but like Jason Aaron, because it's a collaboration. It's like a full collaboration between Jason Aaron and Mahmoud Asrar, the artist. Even
Yeah.
though Mahmoud Asrar is just doing the art, he also has heavy like creative input, and it's just a thing.
Oh, okay.
Both of them are cooking. They're good friends. Um, I think the way that it worked was that they knew that there's this world and this story that they wanted to tell, but they just hadn't really gotten the specifics out of the way for anything beyond the first arc, which is why it went on like a hiatus. Um, but it was always gonna be something bigger, I think, or at least they had plans to.
Yeah. And this is a book that I enjoy it so much. I'm not going to say it's the best thing I've ever read. It's super fun. I really do enjoy it. I think it's going to be something I'm going to put on my pull list.
Awesome, man.
After finishing the first trade, um like after finishing it, like, you know, closing the book up, I wasn't really on the whole pull list train right then and there, but thinking about it, it's something I do want to be in the loop on, and you know, I want to pick it up battling if I want to just wait for the trades, because the first arc was satisfying, but I do want to see what the whole, how it goes, where it goes, and stuff like that. But I'm battling with either if I'm gonna get the trade, the next trades are gonna continue with it monthly. But we'll see. We'll see. You guys will definitely hear my thoughts about that here in the coming months, because I'm pretty sure it comes back in what, May or March.
Something like that. I think so.
Yeah, and I'm excited, man. Either way, it's gonna be a good time to continue back into that whole world of Bug Wars. It's super fun. I really enjoyed it.
Well, I was gonna ask, that might provide some clarity as far as the direction of the story and some of like the elements of it. Did you read the like I don't know if it's collected in the trade. I'd have to go. At least it is in the single issues, but in the back of the single issues, there's like a Q&A kind of thing, like where people would mail in letters to Jason Aaron and he would like answer fan questions and stuff. Did you read those
Mm-hmm.
portions or no?
No, there was well, adding to the world building of the book in between each issue, and I don't know if this is in the single issues as well, but there's like full blown, game manuals full of just lore and
Yeah.
character backstories and all that shit. Those I was reading, the ones that I did find interesting, but the other ones I was just kind of like skipping over. I didn't read the Q&A though, but there was that in the trade.
Okay, I was gonna say because I didn't read the like the lore pages and stuff. I didn't give a fuck about those, but the Q&A stuff in the back is actually super interesting, and provides a lot of like they talk about like their inspirations when creating the series and people asking about like what's to come in the series and they give like little hints and stuff. So if you have time or want to, I'd say it's definitely going back or worth going back and reading some of that, and especially in preparation for the next arc. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that next arc is gonna be pretty dope, man. They're not just doing bugs this time around. It's gonna be
critters,
some little
bro.
critters and shit. Yeah, critters. Yeah, I'm excited about that. It's gonna be fun. And that's one thing I do like about it. I guess going back to it a little bit, I do really enjoy Slade a lot as a main character. He doesn't seem too overpowered, because at first I didn't realize that the amulet was giving him his power, like his actual like strength power. I thought it was just that he's a human condensed in this tiny little fucking form, that he's able to just rip and tear everything like fucking Doom guy from Doom, obviously. And that's one thing I do enjoy, that he doesn't feel like he's overpowered. He definitely feels like he could bite it and at any moment against these, these creepy ass fucking, bugs. And it's cool too because I love the whole thought provokingness of the book as well. It's like you kind of think like, are these fucking bugs really outside having a war and shit like
Yeah,
that? Like
yeah.
it's fun to think about it. It gets your mind going a little bit, and that's one of the pros that I do like about reading, is the whole afterglow effect of reading something and having it kind of just run through your mind constantly.
Well, one of the things that I loved about the world building of Bug Wars is like the scale of everything. Of course, everything is shrunken down, but if you think about the lifespan of bugs, they aren't around for very long, whatsoever. They don't live a long time at all. And so because of that, for like humans, right, a few years can go by, and then for these mites down in the dirt, that was like 1,000 years or something like that.
Yeah,
So you see,
yeah,
like, one of my favorite details was in the yard. There's like this transformer toy or something that was just left there from when they were kids. And so for the bugs down there, they're like, oh my god, this ancient totem has been left here for 10,000 years, and they worship it like some kind of god. You know
yeah.
what I
I
mean?
remember that. Yeah,
That kind of
yeah,
shit
yeah, yeah.
is where like it plays with the perspective and like the time and stuff like that
Hmm.
is super fucking dope. Um, and like not to mention, with how many different kinds of bugs there are and different creatures out there, and just the immense size of our planet and exacerbated by how much shrunk down. You got to think about how much bigger the world gets, right? Like
Yeah,
the possibilities for this world and this story are endless. And that's one of the things when it was first coming out that I was talking to people about, is I would love to see this series become like the next long running indie series, like our next Invincible or East of West or something, like talking like 50 plus issues of just like epic fantasy. Like that would be so fucking cool, man. I would love that.
yeah. They definitely could do something like that. It's just hard to imagine it now. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like we're now that it's so early on into the series. Cause shit, if it gets it up to like 100 issues, it'll be 5 6 years in the making.
Oh,
With
sure.
consistent releases every month, which would be fucking awesome. Because I'm pretty sure how me and you feel, or how you felt whenever you're trying to get me onto the book. You felt like you're in on something special, like
Absolutely.
how Invincible is or was whenever it was coming out. Like it wasn't really too big. It was definitely indie, but it felt like whoever was reading it monthly or getting the trades was in on something special, which I
Well,
definitely feel like Bugwars gives off that vibe.
for like people who were following Invincible from when it started or very early on, how do you think they felt, towards the end of like uh the Viltrumite War or like shit like that, like talking, very late in the series, like I kind of like exactly like you said, you got it spot on. Is when I first read Bug Wars, I definitely felt like I was in on something special, and I was like, how do I put it? It's like I don't know. I could sense something there, and I wanted to like get
Yeah,
as many people on it as I could because I was like, bro, there's something here, and if they do it right, this can be the next big thing. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. And just goes to show you, man, Image is the fucking goat, or my goat
I love
personally. Like
Image Comics
Image has the fucking best shit, man. Like I know, I'm real biased with Kirkman, but Invincible, The Walking Dead, Spawn, even Transformers, Bug Wars, like they got some fucking heavy hitters in their catalog, man.
just
And
about all of Daniel Warren Johnson's stuff is out of Image, pretty much.
yeah, and there was a new release. Let me actually look at this. We could talk about this before I get to my last read of the month, or the week, I guess we could say.
For sure.
Let me know if you've read any of these. Cause this cover, dude, the latest cover for this series, and I'm not one to, no, this is on Dynamite.
Okay.
I'm not one to pick up new series that I don't know anything about, but Space Ghost
Oh yeah.
looks fucking like, look at this cover if you could see. Like, I don't know if you could see it, but like, bro, it looks like some fucking um who did Alex Ross art, like realism type shit. Like it looks fucking sick,
Well,
and that cover alone just makes me want to like maybe get into the ghost space ghost. I think that's what it's called.
do you know who Space Ghost is?
No, no idea.
You don't know? Okay, so Space Ghost was a cartoon on Adult Swim, I think, or MTV or something like that back in like the 90s. And it's basically like Space Ghost is like a TV show host, like a late night TV show host. And he has this buddy, I forget his fucking name, but he's like this alien praying mantis kind of guy. Um, it's making me mad that I don't remember his name. But anyway, it's basically like a late night TV show, but like a cartoon, and there's like some like sci-fi and fantasy elements to it. And what the Space Ghost comic is it takes the general idea of Space Ghost and then turns it into like an actual like superhero story. So like it's already a pre-existing property from a cartoon, like that was an adult cartoon from the 90s, and it just took that shit and then just like made its own thing using those characters.
Hmm.
And that's what Dynamite has been doing lately. They're doing some stuff. They did a Speed Racer series recently. They're doing Captain Planet. Like there's that's what they've been doing is they're taking like old cartoons and stuff and then just like rebooting it for modern audiences, I guess, and like doing cool shit. But I've heard good things in particular about the Space Ghost series, and you're not alone in that because I had that on my wish list for a minute. I just haven't gotten around to it because I don't know. I just there's other things that I wanted to take a chance on first, but yeah.
The uh the covers are Alex Ross.
Oh, they are.
Yeah,
Well,
that's another thing, man. Fuck. Yeah, it looks. Are they? Yeah, they are,
do me a favor and
dude.
look up Space Ghost, like the '90s TV show. And I don't know if you'll know what I'm talking about.
1960s is when this shit came out.
No way.
Yeah, it says 1966 to 1968.
Oh, okay. So it's even older than Space. I'm thinking of Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
space.
this shit looks super, super classic. It looks like a fucking knockoff Batman.
Kinda. Yeah. So, okay. I didn't even know that. So Space Ghost was already a cartoon from the '60s, but then they had Space Ghost Coast to Coast, which is what I'm talking about, which was from the '90s. Which I guess that in and of itself was a reboot of the '60s cartoon.
Mm. Yeah,
So that's actually a good bit of knowledge to know. I didn't know that.
yeah, it looks dope. I've only seen the I guess Alex Ross covers, but they look fucking awesome. And I don't know, I guess I never knew the whole backstory or the whole lore of the show or the the comic itself, but it seems like a invincible kind of not invincible, but like the whole later half of Invincible, where they're in space. It's not just a Earth story anymore. It's like a cosmic fucking, adventure, and that's what Space Ghost looks like. It looks cool, man. I might have to check it out, depending on if because obviously there's six issues in,
Well,
and
that's 6 issues in of like a volume two. There's already a couple trades out for like the series that came right before it.
oh, okay, well there you go. I got some content to check out.
Yeah, bro.
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, yeah, that's something I was looking at today on Comic Geeks. But moving on to my next book that I've been reading this week, which I've been really, really, really enjoying it, man. Like it's been fucking super fun to read. Um, it's The Fury of Firestorm, the Nuclear Men, which is the new 52 run of Firestorm, and it flips it on its head where instead of it just being Ronnie and the scientists get stuck into a nuclear body together. It kind of flips it on its head to where there's you have Ronnie, your classic football jock and stuff like that in high school, and then you have an additional character which is new, from my understanding, to the Firestorm lore, which his name is Jason. I think his name, or Jay or Jason or something like that. He's a secondary Firestorm. He's a black Firestorm. So you have your nerd, which is Jason, and then you have your high school jock, um, which is Ronnie, and they're both Firestorm. They both get they're not infected, but they both get empowered by the whole nuclear um, molecule or whatever like that in the book to both get the Firestorm powers, and it's really good, man. It's cool because you get both spectrums. You get the nerd that's interviewing the jock, and the jock doesn't like the nerd, and the nerd never liked the jock to begin with, but he has to just do his job for the school, and they end up having to set their differences aside and get some shit done, which is cool, man, because it definitely. I'm loving the fucking world building of it, man. It has some really cool elements to where almost like in a Superman Red Sun way, where every every region has their own, or not region, every like country has their own firestorm that protects
Mm.
their country and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
I know Superman Red Sun is an Elseworld story of Superman being a Russian, you know, hero instead of it being an American hero. Um, but yeah, Firestorm. There's German firestorms. There's Russian firestorms, and it's fucking dope, man. There's also like some pretty cool like Power Rangers esque transformations that go on in it, where there's a pretty funny part where obviously Ronnie and Jason don't like each other, and that's how they bend together into like this Hulk looking Firestorm, where he's like quadruple the size of both of them. They're put together and they're both inside of the brain of this kind of like mech,
Mm.
in a way of a firestorm, and they're both kind of they don't know how to control it. And eventually they do end up learning how to control it, but they start getting along. They start really liking each other, and they start fighting all these like government people and stuff like that. And there's this protector of the United States, and it's not the Firestorms that we know, Ronnie and Jason. It's like this fucking like Bane, Hulk, abomination looking thing, real grotesque looking monster, and he's like not even there. He's just like kind of like can barely speak and stuff like that. All he knows is that he's just gonna fucking kill and protect the United States. Well, they end up fighting that beast, the both are firestorms, and they need to learn how to get back into that whole mech. They need to learn how to mesh back together into that Hulk firestorm. And he's like, well, they're thinking about it. And Jason's like, well, the last time that we became this, we didn't really like each other. We were talking shit to each other. And Jason's like dating this one girl. And Ronnie's like, hey, I saw her naked once, right? And they're both like, what the fuck? And boom, they become that fucking big old like Firestorm Hulk like beast, and it's just a kaiju on kaiju battle that is fucking dope. And yeah, it's a really good time, man. And I gotta admit, I don't want to sit there and say that it's my favorite DC I've ever read, um, because to be completely honest, I haven't read much DC. I would say the best DC I've ever read is obviously Kingdom Come. It's absolute peak fucking storytelling, peak characters, peak writing, and then also accompanied by the Alex Ross art. I think that's definitely the best DC I've ever read. I also like Batman Hush, but other than that, I really haven't read too much. I've obviously read Preacher, but we all know my thoughts on that. And I've read Absolute Batman issue 1. I've read Absolute Batman the Annual. I've read some of Matt Fraction's run on Batman. But I gotta say, out of all of my ongoing DC stuff, like um, Fractions Batman, um, I don't even know what else. I've read some of the action comics or the modern action comics. I've read Superman on the Kryptonite Spectrum. I've read that, and I gotta say, man, besides Kingdom Come, I gotta say this is probably my favorite DC I've ever read. It's super fun. There's some themes of racism in there, battling racism, um, and it has that classic high school Spider-Man feel to it as well, where they're just battling the whole teenage angst against the world against them, basically. It's super fucking fun. The art is fantastic. The dialogue is super quippy, super fun, and the action absolutely delivers, man. I love me some kaiju battles. I love me some just awesome dynamic duos, and that's exactly what we get with Firestorm or Fury of Firestorm, the Nuclear Men. Really enjoyable, man. And I have the rest of the stack right there. I have about 10 issues left of this of the run, and wow, I'm missing the last 5 issues of it, but I think I'm just gonna pick up that last trade, whether it be for 20 bucks, 15 bucks. Hopefully, I can get it on a good sale. Can't wait to see where it goes, man. I was looking at the covers for later on. I don't know if this is gonna be a spoiler. Or, I'm just speculating, but I don't see my boy Jason on any of the later covers of the issues. I just see Ronnie. So I hope my boy Jason doesn't bite it, but it's got me definitely intrigued, man. I'm fucking enjoying the hell out of it.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm not very familiar with Firestorm whatsoever. Really, I mean, I guess I've heard of him before, but you, I mean, through you being really interested in the character is really the only time I ever hear about him. So that definitely has
Yeah,
me intrigued. I might ought to check out that run.
yeah, it's awesome, dude. I think you would enjoy it. I think it's not gonna blow you away. Like personally, it's not gonna knock your socks off. It's not gonna be the best DC you probably ever read. Um, it probably won't even hold a candlelight to your absolute Batman.
Oh, I love Absolute Batman, boy.
Yeah,
Ooh.
but man, it is a good time, and it definitely opens the doors for a brand new underrated. Like I just think he's extremely underrated, man. Or both the Firestorms and this run that I'm reading. Just underrated character, and I think more people should get into it because I remember you showing me that they're going to be coming out with a new run of Firestorm here
I was
pretty
about to
soon.
bring that up. Yeah, man.
That has got me really excited, man. I hope they bring some dark, as much as I do enjoy this run and how they're telling it and the quippiness of it, I hope they do make it dark and real gritty because I think Firestorm could definitely thrive in a dark grim world. Almost like Batman.
Was this New 52 run the last Firestorm run there was?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm like 95% sure this was the last run. I think there's only been two Firestorm runs. I think that's the one that's down there in that short box and the new 52 run. I'm pretty sure. I guess I could look it up. How many?
I thought there's a mini series too, but I could be wrong.
Let's check it out.
Like I thought Firestorm was like a mini series, and then it got the like in the Silver Age, and then it got its own like ongoing.
It's showing me some other shit. Let me see. DC Comics. So it says, yeah. So there was the Fury of Firestorm, 100 issues with the 5 annuals. There's Firestorm, which is 2004 to 2007, and
Oh,
then
okay.
Firestorm the Nuclear Man, which is 2006 to 2013, and Fury of Firestorm the Nuclear Men, 2012 to 2013. So yeah, there's only been four runs,
Interesting.
but it says Firestorm the Nuclear Men is 20 issues with one annual. The Nuclear Man is 10 issues. Just Firestorm is 5, and the original is 100. So yeah,
Huh.
he's pretty underrated, man. He's not doesn't have a lot of runs. But yeah, I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what they do or who writes it or who gets their hands on Firestorm next. I think it'll be a good opportunity.
Yeah, man. I'm excited then. I mean, if I don't check out the new 52 stuff that you're talking about, I definitely ought to pick up the new one. I don't know if we've got it announced who's going to be writing it or not. Um, but if they put somebody, I know like there was a number of writers who were kind of like their names were put out there, and they're like any one of them could be working on these select titles, right? And it was kind of like a mystery. People were speculating like which writer was going to go to like which title or whatever. um
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it was announced or not, but Jeff Lemire was one of those authors, and I think based on what I've read of Jeff Lemire and what I know about him as an author, I think he could be a really cool Firestorm author. But yeah, I'd have to take a look at it later and see.
Yeah, but other than that, man, I've been I'm not gonna lie, I've been itching to read more of Berserk, man. I'm excited to get for January to come back around. That conviction arc or the Lost Children, I fucking can't wait for it, man. There's gonna be some stuff where you're gonna be
I got the
like what the
Berserk
fuck?
shirt on.
Yeah, dude, the Berserker armor, man. That shit super cool. And once we finish up uh conviction, we're pretty close to that armor. So
Sick.
be excited for that. I That armor is definitely like almost a plot device in a way.
Hmm.
It it uh it almost represents something something. I'm not even gonna talk about it, but yeah, it represents a lot about anyone who wears it, I guess I should say. Kind of throw out that mystery a little bit.
All right, cool. I mean, obviously we haven't gotten to this part, so I don't know. Call me a poser, whatever. I don't care. But
Oh, it's
I
all good,
always
brother.
loved the look of the Berserker armor. And I always loved that cover. I think it's volume 27, where it's, uh, where it's Guts like on the hill with the moon in the background, where he's
Yeah,
holding the Dragon Slayer. Yeah,
yeah,
I love
sick,
it,
man.
dude.
Yeah, it's fucking dope. Yeah, that armor is fucking awesome. But I guess with so you've only been reading Nightwing and Animal Man, huh? I guess it only has been a week.
Yeah, yeah. Those are the only things I've been reading lately. I guess, I mean, talking about stuff we didn't. I mean, I guess I'll lightly touch on Animal Man because it's not that I disliked it. It's just that there's some gripes that I had with it. Um, so it starts off as like a very like basic superhero story, and it kind of reminds me of like, I don't know, like he's like a D-list character, right? He's not an
Yeah,
important superhero whatsoever. He's struggling to make the cut for like all of these subsidiary teams of the Justice League, because it is a DC book, and he's just a struggling superhero, and he has like these random adventures in the beginning of the story, and especially in the first half, that are very reminiscent of like Silver Age comics, or like you were saying, with JS
JLI.
JLI, where it's just kind of like random like Saturday morning cartoon kind of like
Yeah,
generic comic book adventures. But the one thing that kept me really intrigued about it was that while all that shit's going on, there's like these small details that are thrown in about like the surrounding world, and there's certain things about specifically like God that are alluded to, and it's in a similar fashion. It reminded me of that part in Berserk where Griffith is like falling and he's like God. You know what I'm talking about? it
yeah,
it,
yeah, of
it
course.
kind of reminded me of that a little bit, where you're just left wondering the hell was that. um so like this whole time where there's all this weird shit like happening, you've got this very basic story. But especially in the in the second half, it gets pretty good. Like the first half, I mean, again, I read it all within 24 hours, so it had to have been at least kind of good, right?
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of boring at first, but there was always that like level of mystery that had me intrigued, that kept me going throughout. Um, but one of the main things about Animal Man's character is that because he sees, how do I say this? He's like an activist kind of character, and it comes off as like he's very strongly like an activist about like animal rights and stuff like that, and he's like a member of like PETA or like whatever, and he's like he becomes like a vegetarian. Like there's a part in the book where his wife comes home from work and sees him like throwing everything in the trash from the refrigerator, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, how are we gonna pay for groceries? You're throwing away all of our stuff." He's like, "I decided that we're becoming vegetarians," and she's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, babe, the animals are suffering. Like, it's just kind of funny. But that plays like an important role throughout the story. And there, I mean, it feels a little preachy at sometimes, which I don't consider myself an activist or like have a green thumb or eco friendly. Like, not that I purposely or am like fuck the world, you know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
I'm just not a very, I don't know what the word is, but you get what I'm trying to say. That's
Yeah, I catch your drift. Yeah, I
not
catch your
really
drift.
my thing. Um, so I mean, some of the parts were funny, but it came off a little bit of preachy as I was reading it. But towards the end, you start to understand why. And I mean, I'm sure the big twist about God, I would say, which I understood this. I knew this about Animal Man before going in, but there's a whole part about Animal Man where he breaks the fourth wall, and that happens in the second half of the book. And he meets Grant Morrison, who's the writer of the story, and he talks to him. And the final issue, or I don't know if it's the final issue or the issue before, like the second to last. But I tell you what, Cameron, as a series, Animal Man isn't my favorite, but that is the single best issue of comics I have ever read. Like,
You were saying that in your in the Discord server. That's fucking. It's pretty tall tale, brother. Pretty tall
dude,
tale.
the dialogue between Animal Man and Grant Morrison, who is writing him, right? So it's kind of funny because, in a way, Grant Morrison's talking to himself, but like
Yeah,
the dialogue is so poignant, man, and like the conversation they're having um is so like casual and has you questioning like how this world works and like their place in the universe. Uh and Grant Morrison talks about like, well, Animal Man says something along the lines of like, why am I the way I am? And Grant Morrison was like, well, I see all this fucked up stuff that's happening in the world, and I myself am an activist, so nobody is gonna listen to me, so that's why I chose to write about it. You're a vegetarian because I'm a vegetarian, and a little bit of me is in you because I am the one writing you. And he's like, what? And just like shit like that. And he's like, and the reason why I'm getting off this book, this is my final issue writing, is what he tells Animal Man. It's like the last issue of the book. He says, this is like my last issue I'm writing because I felt that I was getting too angry or whatever, and it was coming off as a little too preachy. And so I'm getting off the book, so this is goodbye. And he's like talking to Animal Man and telling him that. So everything up until this point about why Animal Man is the way he is makes sense. And there's some stuff I won't spoil throughout because it was kind of a jaw dropping kind of moment. But some bad stuff happens to Animal Man and some of the people around him. And Animal Man asks him, he's like, well, if you're able to control my destiny and you're the one writing me, then how come you made me suffer? And to me, it's like, because Grant Morrison is like God essentially in this comic. And I think I don't know, it's kind of like I mean, as a Christian myself, it was interesting to read, almost like if you were able to have like a one-on-one conversation with God, right? But it's almost like cynical in a way that, where I don't necessarily fully agree with it, but it's still just kind of interesting. But Grant Morrison's basically saying like, well, if you didn't suffer, then the readers wouldn't be picking up the book. There would be no stakes to your story, and my story wouldn't have served a purpose. Like, your suffering is I wrote for the enjoyment of the people reading. And Animal Man freaks out and he's like, dude, that's fucked up. And he's like, well, that's like the way it is. You know what I mean? So like, there's like this, it's like this weird cynical kind of take on God and religion, but not really. Like, it's very like meta and fourth wall breaky, and I don't know, just I'm kind of butchering it talking about it, but like if you actually read that issue and like how fluid the dialogue is between the two, and it's all been building up to this point where little hints about God like in the background ever since like the very first two issues or whatever. Um, it's really fucking cool, man. Like that's
Sounds awesome.
that's why like the first half, like I was saying, is like it's kind of boring, but it's all just it builds on itself up until the very end. That's why I wouldn't say I enjoyed it the most. It's not my favorite as a whole, but like, dude, that second half is awesome, man. And one of the things that I like too, just dialogue aside, the art too. There's this specific scene where there's this character, who gets like fucking obliterated, right? But he gets transformed. He gets turned into like a stick figure. Like he gets turned into the basic proportions of like a drawing, like human anatomy,
Yeah,
kinda. So like you could see like the circles and like the lines where like the
the
hands are
lines. Yeah,
like the line work of
mm,
like a character, and he
yeah,
becomes like the panel slowly becomes like sketches, just like rough sketches, and
mm,
he gets like obliterated by just being like erased and like the art process in reverse. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's
Like he's getting deleted.
yeah, dude. It's just a really cool look at how they are able to play with the comic book medium, and I think is done in a way that when I tried to read Gwenpool, for example, I fucking hate Gwenpool. And which sucks to say because I really wanted to like the Gwenpool story, but it was just too preachy about shit that I don't agree with. Where I was like, it's annoying and cringy, and I don't want to read it, despite me knowing that later in the book it was gonna do some Animal Man type stuff. But Animal Man accomplished the same thing that I think the Gwenpool comics are able to accomplish, but done in a way more badass and tasteful way. Where even though I might not agree with everything that Grant Morrison is trying to talk about and push and his ideology and whatever, I still was able to appreciate it. Uh, just the artistry of it. You know what I mean? It didn't
Yeah.
like although it did come off as a little bit pushy sometimes. That was never really it wasn't really about pushing an agenda. It's about the story. Whereas something like I think Gwenpool was made to push an agenda. Like you can sense it as you're reading it if something feels disingenuous or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So there's
Yeah, dude, that might be one of my next pickups, bro. I looked it up and they have the compendium for like $30. So
oh
I
shit, compendium.
yeah,
It's like a paperback.
yeah, paperback version of it, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah,
I might have to check that out, bro. That sounds, the way you're describing it kind of reminds me of the way I thought about Invincible. Like yeah, that first compendium wasn't really too like fucking insane or even great in my opinion. I was all right, it was good, but it was just kind of boring in my opinion. But it was the second half, or not even the second half, like books 2 and 3 or compendiums 2 and 3, that really made that first half make sense and be like, okay, well, without that first half or that first book, we wouldn't be here.
true.
And yeah, that sounds fucking awesome, man. Yeah, that sounds like a good time. I definitely want to check it out. Even though now that I'm going into with some expectations of it being some Silver Agey type of storytelling,
I
I
wouldn't.
think
I wouldn't even say it's Silver Agey in kind of tone and the way things are presented, but the writing itself isn't. Like the
okay,
look and feel of it is Silver Agey, but the writing is definitely like 80s 90s type. Like
cool.
it's much easier to read, but even though it presents itself like old. You know what I
That's it.
mean?
Yeah, okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely sounds like something I could give a good try with. Sounds like a good time. Sounds like something I could definitely get into.
For
But
sure,
that was
man.
always something that I wanted to try, um, to read anyway. And I don't know if the new 52 Animal Man run is as good as Morrison's run that you just read.
Hmm.
Um, but I hear it's badass. I hear it's really good too.
Is that the Jeff Lemire one?
I'm not too sure. I just know it's the new 52 run where he's like standing in the front and he has all the blood on him and shit. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, but I hear both of them are really good. But I hear the Grant Morrison one is definitely like the fucking star of the whole Animal Man like lore, I guess you could say.
Well, I mean, what's really cool about that too, which I guess like you can, I mean, it's something that's I'm not always a big fan of what Grant Morrison does. I think he sort of falls into the same sort of category as like a Jonathan Hickman or for you like an Al Ewing where they write some like confusing shit and the way that they word some stuff it's like you don't quite get it. That's just the experience I've had with Grant Morrison. Um, I feel like he was kind of like a pioneer for that kind of comic book storytelling. Um, Not to say that he's like the first to do it, but like one of those ones where people. I mean, this shit came out in '88, I think, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly. So, I feel like he was one of the first big ones to do it, and I may be completely wrong, but um, I think that this is how do I put this? I don't know. It's confusing at times, and I but it all really does come together. And like once you get to the end, uh, it does like make make sense. But what's cool though is like I said, this came out in 1988, and even from like the first two issues, there are those little details being dropped in about the greater world and what's happening outside the comic book. Uh, and like it's crazy in a similar way that we talk about Kintaro Miura with Berserk. Just the amount of foresight needed, just these little hints from the beginning all the way through until that very last um, issue, right? It's just really cool to see. And of course, it's all collected for us to read now. But you got to think that's over years, man, of like when the issues are coming out. Because 26 issues, that's two
it's a
ish,
little
a
over two
little over two
years.
years. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's just really cool. I couldn't even imagine reading it as it's coming out. Like an experience like that is fucking awesome, man.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot towards the end for sure.
yeah.
I would be interested to go back and reread it with like the perspective gained from like the end. I bet you that's also a really cool experience.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can't even imagine. Yeah, it sounds like a good time. Sounds like something I'm definitely interested in. And whenever I knock out this other stuff that I got, I'll that'll be definitely something I've always had it on my wish list on Amazon. But yeah, that sounds like a good time, brother. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I glad it all came together for you.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So I guess with that being said, I guess we can move on to the next segment, like we talked about at the very beginning of the episode, or the issue rather. Stuff that we weren't really vibing with, stuff that we're not really enjoying. Um, and I there was a specific book that I read your Comic Geeks review on,
Yeah.
and I was pretty surprised because this has become a divisive or whatever you want to call it book in the whole DC Absolute universe. I've seen people absolutely sing its praises to the mountaintops, and I've seen people absolutely not enjoy it. And you're one of those people that did not enjoy Absolute Manhunter, and that's actually a book that I wanted to get into, knowing it's kind of a descriptions from other people. But you're one of the first of my friends that I've seen that has not enjoyed it. Um, I definitely want to get your perspective. And like I said, this is something that we wanted to talk about like 2, 3 issues ago, but I just totally spaced it. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on Absolute Martian Manhunter and why I didn't enjoy it so much.
Well, I picked up the first issue when it first came out. And even then reading the first issue, I knew that this is something that I it would not even be worth it for me to pick up in single issues because I'm gonna get lost. Just based on the first issue, I knew, yeah, this is kind of cool, but I'm gonna drop it immediately. Like I'm not gonna spend the money to read this in single issues. I'll just wait. And boy, am I glad that I did that, because I think if I were to have read it in single issues, I mean, even reading it in trade format, I didn't have the greatest experience. But in single issues, I would have been completely fucking lost, and it would be an even more of a mind fuck than it already is. Um, that being said, actually reading it in the collected edition in trade paperback, it's I appreciate what it's trying to do for being taking a big step out, like out of the box, like a huge step. It took a leap out of the box, man. It's out there, bro. And kind of reinventing the character of Martian Manhunter in a way that's truly different. Because I think with all of the Absolute Universe stuff, we see these heroes get transformed, and it's like a different take on the character, but it's also very samey at the same time. Like it's not outside of the realm of, you don't have to suspend your disbelief much for those characters because a lot of it is the same. There's just minor differences, I would say. But with Martian Manhunter in particular, they took like a whole new. It's basically a whole new character, um, that's very loosely related to its like main universe counterpart. Um, and how do I say? It's like it's very psychedelic, and like one of the things that I did really enjoy. Shit, my trade's on the other side of the room, but the art. I think his name's Javier Rodriguez. He did he did Zatanna Bring Down the House, which I read earlier in the year, and he has a very like pop art kind of look and feel. He has like I think he does the colors as well, uh, but it just looks like very '60s psychedelic kind of trippy shit, and it definitely shows in this. Um, and I like what they're able to do with the medium because there's in the first issue, you like there's this page where it's the main character's face, and like Martian Manhunter is saying "I am you" or something like that. And what you do is you take your floppy book and you hold it up to the light, and on the flip side of the book, on the other page, is Martian Manhunter's face. So when the light hits the page, like their faces combine, and you can see their faces like within each other. Like it's just really fucking cool what they're able to like just playing
Yeah,
around with the medium itself. Like I can appreciate the artistry behind something like that, but at the same time, I think the storytelling is very loose. Um, and I mean, there's a loose story that you follow throughout, but it's just too out there for me. I think
yeah,
it's not my thing whatsoever. And granted, I can read some confusing shit, and like I've read East of West, which is arguably one of the more confusing things I've read, but because the general theming of the story and those loose plot threads were so interesting to me, I stuck with it through the end and loved it, right? Um, Same thing with Animal Man. There's, it could get boring sometimes, but there are those like loose plot threads and those mysteries about the greater world, that kept me intrigued throughout. And then obviously those questions were answered. But something like Martian Manhunter here, absolute. I think when those plot threads, I'm not, well, those loose plot threads, I'm not super interested in to begin with. It makes it a lot harder to follow through the confusing shit. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
it's almost like a, um, I don't know, like you have a little bit of a something to hold on to. Like if you enjoy an aspect, for example, with East of West, I really enjoyed the revenge quest, like western aspect of it. So I was able to hold on to that, and that's what kept me going, right? Throughout the entire
yeah.
thing. And there was a clear light at the end of the tunnel because I held on to that aspect of the story. But in uh this uh in this case, the there isn't really a whole lot for me to hold on to because it's not nearly as interesting to me. So it ends up just me being bombarded with confusing shit that I don't care a whole ton about. And then by the end, I'm like, well, what the fuck did I just read? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Um, but I mean, just for artistic ability and like artistic showcase alone, the art is really cool. It's trippy. It's weird, which I like that for it. The colors are beautiful, um, but it's just not something that I can recommend people. Having not liked it myself, I mean, I always say to people whenever I read something I don't like, I mean, if you want to read it, and if you end up loving it, awesome. I hope people love things that I don't because that means it's for somebody else. You know what I mean? But I just personally can't recommend it. Uh, I don't know. I just did not vibe with it, and I guess I went into it too with really high expectations because so many people I've seen are like, this is the best absolute title. Or even somebody responded to my Comic Geeks review and he was talking about, I had like a light conversation with him, and he was saying that this might be the greatest comic he's ever read. And I'm like, what? Like, and for me, Absolute Batman isn't my favorite comic of all time. It's up there, but absolutely sweeps like Art Martian Manhunter by a long shot. Like it's not even close, man. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I just think it's fascinating, with the absolute titles that there's each of them kind of have something different going on that certain people gravitate towards. And you look at anybody's lists of what their favorite absolute titles are, each of them are a little bit different, right? Um, but yeah, for me, man, Absolute Martian Manhunter is not my thing.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it could be for someone and definitely could be completely not for another person, you know what I mean? I guess that's just one of those series where you just got to give it a shot and then see if you like it or not. I guess that's why 'cause didn't it go on hiatus?
Well, yes, it was originally supposed to only be the 6 issue miniseries, and then it got extended to 12 issues, so it went on
Mm.
hiatus while they're working on figuring out volume 2, but it comes back this month at the end of the month.
Well, shit, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, it definitely sounds like something that is like Metroid Prime 4, for example. Like it's very divisive. Some people say it's amazing, some people say it's shit. Well, that's one of those things where I want to try it, so I'm gonna try it for myself. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And like what you're saying, if you want to read it, then read it. If it's not for me, it might be for you, type thing. Um,
Absolutely.
but I might have to check it out. I don't think that's nearly at the top of my list. I'd rather read the Trinity, the of DC, of course. I'd rather read that before I read Martian Manhunter. I don't know anything about Martian Manhunter, so I don't know if I would enjoy this more than you, because this would be my first introduction to Martian Manhunter
I'll
himself.
be honest, I don't really know anything about him either. I
Yeah,
know very little.
yeah. So, but I do hear that a lot more people like this than they like Absolute Flash or Absolute Green Lantern. A lot of people don't like those runs that I've seen personally. I haven't given them a shot myself. Um, but I do hear a lot better things about Martian Manhunter than I do about those two. Um, but if there's one series of Absolute that I do want to give a try, it's um, Batman, obviously, for sure. It definitely seems like more up my
Oh,
alley than
dude. I'm sorry.
what's up, brother?
Yeah,
Nah.
before we move on, like before we end this episode, I have to talk about the newest issue of Absolute Batman, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure. We could we'll talk about that after I tell you
Oh yeah,
my
for sure.
disliked, which it's a good segue either way. I am not vibing with Fraction's Batman. Like not gonna say like at all. I do think it's cool. I like the art. Dragota's art is obviously fantastic. No, it's not Dragota. It's that's Absolute Batman.
It's Jorge Jimenez, I think.
Yeah, Jorge Jimenez. Yeah, I like his art a lot, but man, those last two issues were fucking not it, in my opinion. I like we talked about in a couple issues ago. Um, I'm not too big on the Riddler. Um, and issue number 4 was all about the Riddler, and issue number 5 is the start of this new um villain, the Minotaur or something like that. And yeah, it had a pretty grim, dark ending and shit like that. If you read it, you know what I'm talking about. But it's just it's just mid. Like I hate to say it because I really did enjoy the first two issues like a
Oh yeah,
lot, a
those
lot, a
were
lot.
amazing.
Yeah, the first issue in particular was fucking fantastic. With Killer Croc and the whole scene inside the terrarium or the the whatever you want to call it, like that
It's like a
like museum
museum. Yeah, yeah.
type place. Yeah, that issue was fucking amazing. And then the second issue delivered as well with like introducing you young Robin and stuff like that, and how badass he is. And I started getting really into the whole them getting framed for certain murders and stuff like that. But then it ended up kind of fizzling out into whatever. And now we're in this whole beginning of this new arc, and I'm just not really. I don't know if it's because I'm not enjoying the build up to it, or if I'm not gonna enjoy the villain. But man, I am, controversial or not, I'm just not enjoying Fraction's run on Batman anymore. Had an incredible start, but like I said, it's starting to fizzle out a little bit for me personally. I don't know if I have the willpower to take it off my pull list because I didn't really think that Absolute Batman's first issue was that killer. I definitely did like Fraction's first issue of Batman more than Absolute Batman's first issue. So maybe after the Minotaur arc, we're gonna get a heavy hitter um, villain, like along the lines of Joker, Bane, or something like that. Which, the way I'm talking about it, sounds like Absolute Batman is just way much more up my alley than the Fraction run. And there was something that you said in your Discord whenever you said you weren't enjoying it as well. Or I think it might have been in our personal DMs, but it feels too like funny and like goofy and like lighthearted. Whenever I don't know, like whenever I read the Absolute Batman annual, like that shit did not feel no fucking lighthearted. It didn't feel goofy. It felt like it was trying to tell you a story, whether it be controversial or not. It was going to tell you what it was about, and it hit for me personally. Like I love the annual of Absolute Batman, and that's the type of vibe, the type of style that I want to personally see in a Batman story. I know I haven't read too much other than Batman Hush. Um,
What'd you think of
I
Hush,
just
by the way?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool, but I think it was cool because of all the different cameos. Like it was lightning speed, lightning fast with evil Superman to Poison Ivy to I think even Joker was in there. There's it's just lightning speed, and it's always got something to tell you. It's always gonna be fun, and I did enjoy it. I just think it was like Batman greatest hits in a way, where
Yeah.
it just showed you all these different Batman enemies in like succession, rather than it be like a single like arc, story by story beat by story beat by story beat. That being said, I really did enjoy it. I just don't think it's a great representation of what you know Batman stories usually are.
It's a
Um,
better representation than what Absolute Batman is. I'll say that.
really,
Well, yeah, because Absolute Batman is far more violent and gritty than mainline Batman is, and that's kind of the point. But
yeah,
I mean, Batman Hush is I mean, contrary. I mean, then again, I haven't read a whole lot of Batman. I've been getting into more Batman lately, and you haven't read a whole lot of Batman. But from my experience, I think the first Hush story is one of the better representations of Batman. Actually,
yeah. I still think it's fantastic. I think it's super fun, lightning fast. Obviously, I do like my fast paced storytelling. Um, but absolute or no, not absolute. I just think Batman by Fraction is just not for me personally, and you know, I don't think I'm gonna pull it out of my pull list because I do want to see what the series has to offer, and going back to our single issue collecting gripes, or mine personally, I do think this is a case of it just being a slower issue, because Immortal Hulk has fantastic sections of the book, but there are some single issues where I would have been like, if I was picking this up monthly, I kind of would have been disappointed. And there's even like 2, 3 issue strings in Immortal Hulk where they're not really too interesting. And I just think I'm trying to ask myself if this, or not ask myself, but like trying to realize if this is just a slower part of the book, or if this is going to be the tone of it altogether. Um, so I'm not gonna drop it from my pull list. I'm gonna continue to pick it up because I do have some faith in Fraction's run on Batman. I just where these last 2 issues have been, it's not my taste personally. I do very much still enjoy the whole storytelling that Fraction does with the whole all of his different um, gadgets and all that stuff, kind of giving you like a video game type description of all the different gadgets and shit that he has, especially like his stealth suit from issue 4 was fucking awesome. The black and orange was super cool.
I
And
think that was
I
issue
like,
3.
was it 3? I think I'm ahead of an issue, but
Yeah,
yeah, I think it was. It might have been it.
because
No,
Minotaur is 4. Issue 5.
is it
Issue
4?
5 isn't out yet.
Oh, okay. So then issue 3 with the stealth suit was extremely cool, and I'm kind of you know I'm just gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna ride through. I'm gonna hold back from pulling it off my pull list right away. I'm gonna have some faith in Matt Fraction because I do know that they got a good story to tell, and they haven't even hit the biggest bads that are in Batman yet whatsoever. So I'm gonna hold it out. I'm gonna keep it on my pull, and I'm excited to see where it goes. At the end of the day, it's a very simplistic story to where you're not. It's not like absolute Martian Manhunter where you're like, what the fuck, dude? If I was picking this up monthly, there would be no way I'd be able to understand because it's so out there. It's very much point A to point B to point C. It's super easy to read, and I think that's why I'll keep it on my pull list instead of reading it and being like, dude, I don't even know what the fuck I'm reading. So yeah, it'll stay on the pull list, but just these past 2 issues have not been it, in my personal opinion.
Well, let me. So I was gonna add on, and I was gonna see if I can help you out with Batman a little bit, and provide a little bit of insight because I have been reading a good amount of Batman as of lately, um, and even talking about Fractions Batman, I've been reading the Nightwing, right? And I feel similarly to you. I'm probably gonna drop the Fraction Batman, and just because I was planning on picking up the trade anyway, so I mean it's whatever. I'll probably drop it for now and just save that $10 and use it towards the trade down the road, right? Um, but what I understand about what Fraction is trying to accomplish with this Batman is trying to set a lighter tone, and I don't I don't know, make it more episodic where each issue is kind of like its own thing. Like there is a storyline through everything, but where a new reader can come to the book and pick up whatever issue and not be completely lost because it's relatively self-contained, and just kind of trying to make freshen up Batman, make it lighter and make it more appealing to new readers. I think it's kind of like a soft. I mean, it's Batman #1, right? So it's kind of like a soft reboot for Batman. In I think more ways than one. But I agree that it's just not working too well. At least for me, like those first 2 issues, especially like you were saying with the Killer Croc stuff, was absolute cinema, bro. I love that scene, and that's one of my favorite scenes in comic books. In recent memory, was like the dialogue between Batman and Croc, sitting there and talking, right? And he's holding up the flower or whatever.
Yeah,
Just
the butterfly.
Oh, butterfly. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely beautiful, right? But I think my kind of Batman that doesn't fit what I want from a Batman story, and I think that's kind of where you're coming from too. Um, and I'm reading Nightwing right now, and Nightwing is tonally similar to Fractions, Batman. That's one of the first things I noticed when I was reading it. I was like, this feels very similar. But I think that kind of storytelling and vibe fits the character of Nightwing a lot better than it does Batman. Uh, because Nightwing is kind of like a Spider-Man kind of character. He he's like Batman. You got to think Nightwing was once Robin, right? So he has elements of Batman, like this badassness, but then he also has like this young, very quippy, like athletic kind of bouncing off the walls kind of person underneath, where he is a very hopeful and bright kind of character, where that tone fits him a lot better, at least in this run, right? Um, and I think that if you want to read something with that kind of tone, but where it's very hopeful, and it reminds me of something almost like, I mean, maybe not to that extreme, but kind of like Daniel Warren Johnson books, like Daniel Warren Johnson's Transformers, for example, which I know you've read. Just that underlying hopeful tone that carries through all of his works, I think is present in Nightwing. So if you want to read something with that sort of vibe and tone, but fits better, where that kind of vibe fits Nightwing better than it does Batman, I would recommend that. And then going back to what you were saying with Batman, if you want to read a Batman story that's really good, and when you were talking about Hush, the reason I asked about Hush in particular was to kind of get a gauge of where you're at with Batman. Um, I would personally recommend you read The Long Halloween. Uh, it's kind of a darker noir kind of story, but it has beautiful art by Tim Sale, by the way, who's one of my favorites. But it has this vibe that's like reminiscent of Batman the animated series from the 90s, which I love that cartoon. And it's the same writer as Hush. It's Jeff Loeb. Uh, and what Jeff Loeb does in Hush is where you're talking about all those cameos of villains and stuff.
Yeah.
He does that in the Long Halloween saga too. And the Long Halloween saga was written before Hush, so it's like he kind of did it there and then did it again in Hush. So it'll be
Mhm.
reminiscent in that way. But there's that level of mystery, uh, the darker tone, uh, kind of all these different villains that Batman's fighting that are popping up. He's trying to figure out who's doing these murders, and it's one of the it's one of the main inspirations for the Matt Reeves Batman, like Battinson movie that they did.
Yeah.
Um, so if you want something more akin to that for your Batman taste, I definitely recommend that. I like the omnibus that has all of the Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale Batman stuff is one of the best omnibuses on the market in my opinion. But I wouldn't necessarily say for you to buy that. In the event that you don't care for it as much as I do, but if you can get the trade for just the Long Halloween, I highly recommend it. And the sequel to the Long Halloween called Dark Victory is also fucking fantastic. Um, and in fact, I like it more than the original Long Halloween. Um,
Oh shit. Okay.
yeah, I would highly recommend you give those a shot as far as Batman goes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't want people to think I hate Batman as a character. I think he's super cool. But yeah, the last two fraction issues weren't the best in my opinion. But I'm gonna keep going with it, and I'm gonna keep hitting with it. Uh, so that Nightwing run that you're reading, is that the one that's in three compendiums?
No, sir. The compendium ones, I think that's the original run from the '90s. The Chuck Dixon run. Hold on, let me grab my book right here. I don't have the dust jacket on it, but this is the Tom Taylor run. This is during, I believe, during Rebirth. So I don't know. It's a pretty modern. It's like 2016, 20. I don't know when like his run on it began because I know there was some Rebirth Nightwing before Tom Taylor, and then he hopped in and did his own run on it, but they kept like the numbering, so he hops on the book at like issue 80 something or something like that. You know what I mean? But it's during
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the rebirth era, so 2016 or after. I'd have to look, but it's pretty modern.
Sounds pretty cool, man. I'll have to check it out. Nightwing.
Yeah, the first, if you're able to, if you just want to try it out, I recommend. They have it. I don't. Do you like the DC compacts or no? Not so much.
Yeah, I like the DC Compacts. Yeah,
They
for sure.
they made one of the first arc, for Nightwing. It's called Leaping into the Light. If you wanted to try it out.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Only $10. That's not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nightwing. I don't know anything about Nightwing. I just I didn't even know that he was previously a Robin.
You
So
didn't.
that's
Whoa.
yeah.
You didn't know that?
No.
All right, yo. Let me introduce you right quick, okay? So before we move on, just to give some context. So Nightwing is the original Robin. He's Dick Grayson. Um, so Batman, he has how many Robins, right?
Yeah.
The original Robin is Dick Grayson, and as Dick Grayson got older, he started butting heads with Batman, and he was kind of like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna do my own thing. So Dick Grayson left, and he became Nightwing, and he left Gotham City and went to the city of Bloodhaven, um, and started doing his own thing over there. And it's during this time that Batman doesn't have a Robin, and there's this kid who's Batman finds in an alleyway trying to steal the tires off the Batmobile, and this kid is Jason Todd. And so Batman adopts Jason Todd. He becomes the next Robin. Jason Todd gets killed by the Joker and then gets revived later on and becomes the Red Hood. And then after Jason Todd dies, Batman gets another Robin named Tim Drake, which is one of the more popular Robins. So he has Tim Drake for a while, and then I don't really know. I'm not too familiar with Tim Drake as a character, but he leaves and kind of does his own thing for a while. I know he becomes the Red Robin for a while, and then there's Damian Wayne, who's Batman's like
It's done.
actual son, uh, who's like the most recent Robin. But
So who's the Robin in the Fraction run then?
that's Tim Drake.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're
So his
so
third Robin.
yeah. So there's if you remember in that last issue of Batman, he's Bruce Wayne is talking to his son. He's talking to
Yeah.
when he like I forget what he does if he like punches him or something like that, but they're like training together, right?
Yeah.
He's training and talking to Damian, his actual son, but
Uh-huh.
the Robin from issue 2 that got like that was in the back of the truck and was like handcuffed or whatever, that was Tim.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Getting some Batman lore. There you go. Well, that's cool. I did not know that about Nightwing. I thought he was just another like DC hero.
No, yeah, Batman is basically his adopted dad.
Mm. Okay.
And
That's pretty cool,
that's
man.
another thing too, man, is if you read The Long Halloween and Dark Victory, in Dark Victory it retells Tim Drake's origin story in the first time Bruce Wayne ever met him. So you can get some insight on, who Nightwing and his relationship to Batman through that as well.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool, man. That sounds pretty cool. Yeah. There's a comic tuber that I like to watch. His name's Chubby Ray Comics. Gets
Mm-hmm.
a shout out to Chubby Ray Comics. He's like a older guy. He doesn't collect single issues. He just collects trade paperbacks
That's
and
Epic
omnibuses.
Collections and Omnibuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I
Yep.
I found that guy recently, dude. Like within the last couple of months. He's awesome, dude.
Yeah, he's cool. We should try to get that guy on the pod. That'd be pretty cool to have some older older comic knowledge with the youngins, I guess we could
For
say.
sure, man. Yeah, Chubby Ray, he is awesome. I love watching his stuff.
Yeah, he has some I like his videos where he's like if I had to hold on to 5 omnibuses in my entire collection. And Nightwing. I'm not too sure if that's the run you're reading or if that's the run that I mentioned, but I think it's the one that I mentioned where it's in 3 like paperback omnibuses, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's
Um,
the original run.
yeah, and he really enjoys that run. Uh,
Okay,
but yeah,
cool.
he's got some cool fucking insight to a lot of comics that I never would have batted an eye to. But yeah, he's got some cool taste. We should try to reach out to him or something like that.
For sure. Shout out to Chubby Ray, man. You know what else I love about his content is his videos never overstay their welcome either.
Oh,
He
never,
gets in
never.
there, he talks about it, gives you a list, and then he dips. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fucking cool, man. He's got some cool takes. He's got some and I like
His
his
collection is sick too.
yeah, his collection is fucking dope. Yeah, he's a cool guy, man. If you guys haven't checked out Chubby Ray Comics yet, pretty cool older comic collector. A lot older than me and my boy Luke
Oh,
here.
for sure.
So if he ever came onto the pod and gave us some insight, it'd definitely be like some unk on some youngin shit.
Yeah.
But it'd be pretty cool to have him on. He's a cool guy. Go check out his content. Shout out to Chubby Ray Comics.
Yeah, if I remember, I might
Um,
leave a link to his shit in the description or
yeah, for
something
sure.
like that, or in the cards or something if I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, super cool. And his collection's fucking a beauty to look at. Just tons and tons of fucking collected editions. That's what he specializes in.
Hey,
Um,
before we move on, I know we're gonna be talking about the Game Awards and stuff like that, but real quick, do you want to shout out like three comic book creators? Like,
damn, dude,
give me your three.
I don't even know if I have like a. I would have to look it up real quick on YouTube really fast just to see what their names are. Cause Chubby Ray Comics is fucking fire.
Oh yeah.
But there's another guy that I like watching his shorts on a new comic book day. He's got a lot of fucking good he has to be like an owner or something. Oh, yo, straight up though, I don't know if you like him, but Sticky Goose
I'm not a big fan of
is
that
fucking
guy's stuff.
yeah, I used to like some of I don't watch him at all anymore, but his some of his older shit is cool. Comics Are Dope is another
Oh,
fucking great
BJ
channel
Kicks.
too. Yeah, dude, that guy is fucking dope. He's got some real good insight. Chubby Ray Comics, of course. Speed Sultan is a fucking legend.
Oh, for sure.
Um, the whole Hall of Nerds podcast in general is just a bunch of fucking legends. Let me new comic book day. There's a guy that I do want to give a shout out to. Here he is right here. His name is Alter Ego Comics.
Alter Ego. Let me look
Uh,
him up.
yeah, he's got to be the owner of a comic store. Because he's always giving out shout outs to the new comic books. Just look up a new comic book day, Alter Ego Comics. He's like an older guy. Um, ooh, and besides Alter Ego Comics, dude, you cannot forget about Near Mint Condition.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was thinking of him. I was like, well, do we need to shout him out? Cause he's like the biggest man.
Oh, dude, Near Mint Condition though.
Omar, the goat.
You have got to fucking give credit where credit is due with that guy though, man. He has gotten reprints of books that we never thought we're gonna fucking see a reprint in our day and age. Like that dude is like the comic titan of our fucking
He's the voice of
of
the
our
people, man. He's like
he really is.
he's
Yeah, Near
basically
Mint
our
Condition is a fucking straight
representative
legend.
to Marvel and DC. I respect him a
He's a
lot.
fucking straight legend. Yeah, I love his manga videos, his comic videos. Um, I love his like how would you even say like his overview
Yeah.
of like a certain like new omnibus that's coming out like oh okay, actually straight up my all-time favorite comic book fucking YouTuber is Gem Mint Collectibles.
Gem Mint. Shout out.
Dude, that
I
guy,
used to
I
watch
can
his
watch that
Berserk
guy's
Deluxe Edition reviews and stuff like that.
reviews. Yeah, he does new comic book day videos. I watch them every week. I love watching his statue unveils. I love watching his he's just started getting into doing recent like like what's that guy that does like comic like story recaps?
Uh,
Fuck, what the
Comics
fuck is his name?
Explained.
Yeah, Comics Explained. Yeah, Comics Explained. He's starting to do Comics Explained style videos with his most recent one was with Absolute Joker.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, those are like, to fire off like 10. I know you said 3, but
Yeah.
like
No, it's all
all
good.
those guys are fucking dope. But Gem Mint Collectibles, Near Mint Condition, and probably Alter Ego Comics. I really like all three of those guys, man. They have some fucking great. Honestly, I would probably trade out Alter Ego Comics or Chubby Ray because I really do like watch. I watched the entire video and love every minute of it. I love his like sassiness in it as well. Like he knows his fucking taste. He knows what he likes and shit like that. I like Chubby Ray. So Chubby Ray, Near Mint Condition, and number one is definitely Gem Mint, man. Gem Mint is just straight up my fucking alley. I love that guy's content.
Yeah, he's a really cool dude. I've seen Gem Mint around for a grip, dude. Like I watched some of his stuff before I was even into comics, like just into manga and stuff. But I would always see like his arcade and like his arcade room and his collection behind him and stuff. He's got it made, man. He's a cool dude. Uh, yeah, shout out, man. I was gonna shout out a couple myself here. Um,
Yeah, please.
I mean, of course, all the Hall of Nerds guys, love to shout out them. They're making it happen for themselves. I mean, we've talked about that in private before. They've got their own thing going. So
For sure.
big props to them. If you guys want to see some like comic analysis kind of videos, um, and like for those of you who read manga, kind of like Masked Man kind of videos, but for comic books, definitely check out Mullet Man. Mullet Man is fucking awesome. He does like explained kind of videos, but then he'll also do like voiceover kind of content, and he also has a few where like I guess he has hired some people or has his friends to do like voice acting for like specific characters and stuff as he's doing his overviews, and it's really freaking cool. I love Mullet Man. Natrix Nate. I don't know if you watch him, Cameron, uh, but he does
Sounds kind of familiar.
Nate.
Is he like the dark complected guy?
He never shows his face. I don't think.
I want to try to find that guy that I was talking about. Because I want to give him a shout out as well. His name is Cody Collects. Cody Collects
That
has some
sounds
fucking cool
familiar.
videos. And I
Cody with a C or a K?
okay.
I'm not sub, but that sounds familiar.
Yeah, Cody Collects. He's a cool guy. I commented on his video, not like talking shit or anything, but I was like, man, this guy's poor wallet, because that guy walks out every week with
Oh
like at
yeah,
least 15 issues of comics
yeah, man.
every week, and I'm like, bro, this guy's poor fucking wallet. And he commented it. Um, he's like, well, luckily my YouTube channel pays for my weekly pulls, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
fuck,
yeah,
good for you. The fucking that meme of that black kid like taking pictures all pissed, but he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
good for you, happy for you, and shit like that. Nah, it's a he's a cool content creator too. He's got some good insight. He's another East of West fucking stan, man. He loves that series a lot.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I remember now that you're talking about it. It rings a bell. We were talking about him last week, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, real quick, because we could definitely move on. I just while we were talking about creators and stuff, I wanted to give some awesome creators. As a small channel ourselves, we gotta hype up the homies that are in a similar spot to us, right? Um,
yeah. 100%, hundred
but
percent.
yeah, lastly, I just want to talk about a guy that I found recently, Omni Nation Comics. This guy, dude, I love his energy, man. He did a video recently talking about the announcement for the new Hulk omnibus next year. Dude, his energy is awesome, man.
Yeah,
He's so excited about this stuff. Very informative. I highly recommend it. Omni Nation. Uh, yeah, this dude's fucking dope. But anyway, that,
no, hell yeah, dude. It's always cool to talk about other creators other than ourselves, because fucking there's a lot of good content that like, dude, if I if I had to get into this hobby alone without their push, I probably wouldn't even be in this hobby. You know what I mean? Because
For sure.
it's a lot easier to just YouTube 10 best comics for beginners and shit like that, and all those guys that we'll mention will pop up.
That's why
So
I
without them,
love near mint condition, man. Because every
oh
so
fuck
often
yeah,
he'll take a look at the books that are in print and like are readily available, and he'll be like, "These are the omnibuses that are best for new readers that are readily available." You know what I mean?
yeah,
Stuff like that.
yeah. Dude, I have so many recommendations like from him specifically, like Ultimate Spider-Man, Venom, Blue and Gold X-Men. There's another one, the Donny Cates Thor Omnibus is another one that he recommended it as well. Preacher was actually a Gem Mint collectible recommendation, but like just shit like that, man. He fucking like that dude's got talking power, man. He could get you into a fucking book. Um, like he's literally like a sales rep in a way, like straight up, man. He's got
Kinda, yeah.
fucking new people into all that fucking in print stuff, and like we mentioned earlier, he's got shit that is he'll ask his viewers of books that they want to see being reprinted, and it happens most of the time, man, which is fucking awesome. Shout out new mint, near mint condition.
You know what's funny though? Talking about Gem Mint, uh, it's funny. I made this connection a while ago, but you remind me of Gem Mint sometimes, and I'm like,
No
dude,
shit.
Gem Mint is like if Cameron locked in and leveled up. I don't know.
Yeah, Jim
Sometimes
is
the
fucking
way
dope,
you
man.
the way you talk and sometimes your mannerisms remind me of him. That's something I noticed a while ago, but it never said anything because it never came up naturally. But
Yeah. Now, hey, now it did.
but
That's cool, man. Yeah, Gemmin is fucking dope. I enjoy his content a lot. He's like kind of how you are to me, like an inspiration to fucking read. You know what I mean? Like where whenever I heard you talking about all this shit, like running through that whole Animal Man Omni in 24 hours, like is inspiring. You know what I
oh,
mean?
for
It's
sure.
like, and the way like, dude, he'll be platinuming on PlayStation Final Fantasy games, which take 80, 90, 100 fucking hours a piece, and he's also reading 25 single issues that are coming out just that week. And then he's got a fucking wife, a kid, fucking all this back issues and shit that he's reading. It's just
Not to mention the
inspiring.
countless amount of omnibuses he gets sent sometimes, and like, yeah,
Yeah. And doing the YouTube on top of that, like
streaming
it's
too. If I remember correctly,
yep.
he does streams like multiple times a week.
Yeah, and then he'll do like whatnot fucking giveaways and all that shit. Like yeah, that dude is on his shit, man. He's fucking awesome creator. Shout out Gem Mint, man. Shout out Gem Mint.
For sure. But hey, let's get into the next segment, man. I know you were dying to talk about the Game Awards.
Yeah, I guess we wouldn't say dying
Uh,
because we all knew what the fuck was gonna happen. Nah, it's all good. We all knew who was gonna win. Game of the year. It was Expedition 33, man. That thing got nominated for 12 awards and won 9, um, which is, I think, the biggest sweep in Game Awards history. And I guess besides that, obviously, like we all knew Expedition 33 was gonna win. With that being said, it's a fantastic game. It like goes back to old PlayStation era Final Fantasies, but with obviously modernized to the T. The story itself is insane. It's fantastic. It's fucking crazy. Especially like because you think the game ends and it's not over. Like there's definitely like another third after you think the game is over after that, where it just totally opens up your mind to the whole world, and it's one of those like games where you start it and you start kind of playing it at a surface level or in, taking in the story at a surface level, but once you know what the twists are, because there's multiple twists in that story, um it just opens up your whole brain. Like Soundfall Interactive was fucking playing fucking 10D chess on this fucking story, man. Like it's truly a game that we get once every 10 years. Like honestly, like it's a fucking masterpiece of a game. Even though personally, like it sounds funny that I'm saying all this praise about it. I didn't love it as much as other people did. It's not my game of the year personally, but man, was it a moving fucking experience. And it's funny because whenever Downfall Interactive won the game award for Game of the Year, they said shout out to the creators of the original Final Fantasies, Hironobu Sakaguchi. He was the creator of the originals, and 1 through 10 specifically. And he said without him, we wouldn't have the love that we put into this game itself, which is kind of funny because Final Fantasy, modern day Final Fantasy from 11 to 16 is nothing like original turn-based Final Fantasy. And if Square Enix wants to take a step back and look at what Sandfall Interactive have done with their game and how they could change the direction of modern day Final Fantasy, it'd be basically like them learning from themselves, which
Mm.
is kind of weird in a way to think about. But yeah, with that all being said, I could talk about Expedition 33 for fucking ever. It's
Well, what's
oh,
your
in a
game of the
weird
year?
way. My game of the year is Ninja Gaiden 4, man. That game fucking blew me away. Like, yeah, the story is like typical anime bullshit. Kind of whatever. I mean, it's cool. Obviously, it's epic, but it's kind of like whatever. But man, that game really defined what I love about action games. Like, yeah, God of War, fucking fantastic action game. Ghost of Tsushima, fantastic action game. Um, but man, go Ninja Gaiden 4 fucking put action in action game. Like that game fucking pedal to the metal all the way to the very end. And there's even like a twist because if you guys don't know, um, Ninja Gaiden stars Ryu Hayabusa for all the games. And in this one, it stars a different protagonist from a different clan because Ryu Hayabusa is from the Dragon clan, and this new character Yakumo, he's from the Raven clan. And I could definitely see people not enjoying that, but there's a pretty fucking cool twist where they both fucking meet face to face towards the end of the game. And if you think Yakumo's got something against Ryu Hayabusa, you don't know, man. Ryu Hayabusa is the goat of Ninja Gaiden. But yeah, that was definitely my game of the year. And I just definitely think if I didn't play that, Expedition 33 or Arc Raiders would have been my game of the year. Those two, Expedition 33 and Arc Raiders, were definitely like the heavy hitters of this year personally. Um, but yeah, I think our Expedition 33 definitely blends classic Final Fantasy with the turn-based combat, but also, and I hate to say this term because Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, Sekiro, they're some of my favorite, if not From Software's catalog is my favorite gaming catalog ever in any game franchise like ever. Like Dark Souls is my favorite gaming franchise of all time. And Expedition 33 is as if you put Final Fantasy X or any of the other ones before it mixed with a Dark Souls game. And it's like the perfect marriage between that, and then on top of that you have one of the most impactful gaming stories we've gotten in a very long time since like God of War Ragnarok, in my personal opinion. It's a fantastic game, and don't let the turn-based, because I know a lot of people don't like turn-based. Don't let that turn you away because it's the most engaging turn-based that's ever been done. It's not I hit, you hit, I hit, you hit, I hit, you hit. It's very much involved. It's not like you press a button and let the animation play out. No, it's extremely fucking involved to where you can't put the controller down in the middle of a battle.
Mm.
It's super enjoyable, super satisfying. And on top of that, like I said for the fifth time already, the story is fucking the best part about that game. And you all know that I love me some turn-based games, like love them. But the story is definitely the standout, and it deserved every single award it won. And it was pretty easy to tell that that game was going to sweep the Game Awards. It was basically Expedition 33 awards with some game reveals in between.
Right.
But with that being said, I guess we could talk about some of the game reveals as well that I personally was excited for. Even though some of the games might not come out, having some tempered expectations. I'm sure you know what game I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Star Wars: The Fate of the Old Republic was, I think, the very first game they showed. No gameplay, which kind of tempers your expectations a little bit.
The trailer was kind of mid too, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. It's just kind of the whole the old Republic era of Star Wars is my favorite, one of my favorite eras in the entirety of the Star Wars lore. So just having basically a Knights of the Old Republic 3 come out, just that idea alone gets my brain running. Uh, just the thought of that is super exciting and super cool. But there's not really much to be said. It was just a cinematic trailer where you could have thought it was another game from Naughty Dog. It could have been that Galactic Republic bullshit that Naughty Dog's coming out with. You could have thought it was that, but it was eventually Star Wars, and yeah, it looked alright. I'm just having some very tempered expectations with it because we still haven't even gotten the fucking KOTOR remake that we've been promised. What did it fucking get
6 years
announced like
ago.
5 years ago? Yeah, 5, 6 years ago. Like, I don't think they have any business revealing a new game, especially under the whole Old Republic era, when they haven't even came out with what made the Old Republic era fucking prominent in the first place, which is Knights of the Old Republic.
Right.
Um, and then after that, they showed the next Larian game, which last year, Baldur's Gate 3 won. Oh no, no, not last year. The year before last year, Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year. And you guys know I'm not too big of a fan on tactical RPGs, but that game totally swooped me off my fucking feet, man. I fell in love with it. And it was just it made me more excited than anything to see what Larian Studios was making after Baldur's Gate 3 because we all knew that Larian said they were going to make a DLC or a Baldur's Gate 4 for Baldur's Gate 3. So we all kind of assumed that they were going to come out with a new Divinity game, which is the series that they came out with before they got the Baldur's Gate IP under their belt. And they revealed that they're going to come out with Divinity 3, which was fucking exciting for me. It's probably my favorite reveal of the entire show. It's extreme high fantasy mixed with like some D&D, some Diablo, and I know it was just a cinematic, but you can count on Larian to deliver on a game, especially with after the success of Baldur's Gate 3. Let's just hope that because I did go back and I played Divinity 2 after playing Baldur's Gate 3, and it wasn't as polished as Baldur's Gate 3. It didn't have um, the up close like kind of like facial expression. Like it didn't have the budget that Baldur's Gate 3 had, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So now with the success of BG3, I just can't wait to see what Divinity 3 has got in store for us. It's going to be fucking awesome. It's more than likely going to be co-op, and I just can't wait to see what kind of story they want to bring, man. Because Baldur's Gate 3 is one of my favorite stories in all of fiction. It was fucking awesome. And then after Divinity 3, they I guess not revealed, but they and keep in mind, guys, this is what I'm personally excited for. That they revealed. There was a ton of other bullshit like Mega Man, basically Mega Man 12, which is pretty cool. Not a big Mega Man guy. I do think Mega Man 2 is fucking incredible. But they showed other games like the pod racing Star Wars game. Not a big fan. Um, but they did reveal the, I guess, quote unquote, second half of what we were speculating for Resident Evil 9. Resident Evil is one of my favorite franchises of all fucking time. Leon Kennedy is one of my favorite characters of all time. Love his fucking character.
I
He's so
actually
badass.
wanted to give some input on this one because this was one of the ones that I was actually excited for.
Okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. So they finally, so whenever they initially revealed Resident Evil 9, it was almost going back to the Resident Evil 7, the in a single house horror first person or third person now with Resident Evil 9. Just going back to that extreme horror, which is dope. I love Final or not Final. I keep wanting to say Final Fantasy. I love Resident Evil 7. It's probably the greatest horror game I've ever fucking played, without a
It's
doubt.
probably
It's
one of the scariest video games ever made, right next to Outlast. Like it's
oh
up
yeah,
there.
100 fucking percent. Both those games are incredible, and it was awesome that they were going back to that whole Resident Evil 7 vibe. Which then they revealed that our boy Leon Kennedy is gonna be the second playable main character of Resident Evil 9. So they finally revealed his gameplay. They revealed that he's in the game. He's got some stubble like Dante from Devil May Cry 5. Looks fucking incredible. They revealed his gameplay, which is very much like almost. a carbon copy of Resident Evil 4's gameplay. And Resident Evil 4 Remake. I don't. Have you played Resident Evil 4 Remake, Luke?
I haven't. No.
Bro, you gotta fucking play that game. That game is fucking so good. I think it's on sale for like $20 right now on Steam.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Um, bro, it's so good. It's so good. Anyway, but they're going back to Resident Evil 7 and almost Resident Evil 2, to where Resident Evil 2 had two discs. They had your Leon disc and they had your Claire disc. And your Claire disc was a lot more horror oriented, and your Leon disc was a lot more action oriented. And I don't know how they're going to do the story in this game, but it definitely does seem like you're going to be playing as the girl, the blonde girl. I don't remember her name exactly. And then Leon as well. I don't know if it's going to be choose to play as Leon as his campaign or choose to play as the girl for her campaign. I'm hoping that they
like
mesh
they
it.
did in the 2 remake.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Exactly. But I kind of do hope they mesh it into one cohesive experience. Just I don't know. I just hope that's the way I would do it personally. But man, that reveal whenever Leon gets out of that cop car had me fucking like, yes, yes, he's fucking real. Like, yes, like excited, man. I can't wait for Resident Evil 9. I have it wishlisted, and I'm gonna be playing that shit the fucking minute it comes out. I've played every Resident Evil except for 1 and 3. I've beaten all of them. Love them all.
Sick,
Except 6.
man. Yeah.
6 is 6 is fucking terrible, but the rest of them are fucking awesome.
Well, what I was gonna say to add on to that, man, I'm a big fan of Resident Evil, and so this is gonna sound insane, okay? But hear me out. I've never actually played a Resident Evil game, okay?
Okay.
But I'm very familiar with the stories, and like, cause I grew up watching playthroughs of Resident Evil. That's how I know Resident Evil. I've never actually played it for myself because I'm not a big horror game kind of guy. I can't imagine myself playing a horror game because I get too like I'll freeze up and I'll be like, dude, what the fuck? I get way too stressed, especially if there's like shit chasing you. I'm like, oh my god, I couldn't even imagine myself playing like horror games. But I watched them.
Yeah.
I watched them.
Okay.
So that might be a little bit sacrilegious, but I do love Resident Evil. Don't get me wrong. Okay. And what I really love about this trailer that we got, or this teaser, or whatever, I mean, of course, Leon being back is fucking awesome, right? And from what I've never actually, I need to go back and I should probably play Resident Evil 4 just for myself.
Bro, you should. It's fucking sick. It's like it's kind of freaky, but it's almost like it's a fucking horror game for the enemies, and Leon's just fucking roundhouse kicking, blasting, fucking chopping their heads off, dude. You gotta play 4, man.
I'll
And since
probably
it's on
play
sale on
4.
Steam, you should. You should.
But I Resident Evil 2 remake, because I've never played the original, so I don't have like old consoles and stuff like that, and I haven't watched playthroughs of those either. But the Resident Evil 2 remake, when that came out, is when I got into Resident Evil. I was in like 6th grade or something like that when that came out, and I fell in love with Resident Evil at that time. And what I like though is because since then I've gone back and I've watched playthrough of 7, which again is one of like I couldn't even imagine playing 7 for myself, let alone, dude, they have that shit in VR too, by the way.
Yeah, fuck that. I'll play a game where I can look away from the screen,
Yeah.
but if I gotta have the fucking screen fucking tacked onto my fucking eyeballs, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, bro.
I'm good.
Do they
No
have? I
way.
wonder. Do they have Outlast in VR?
Probably somewhere. I'm sure there's some sort of mod or some shit, but
Dude.
fuck that.
Yeah, dude. Nah, I'm good player. Um,
Yeah.
but what I really love though is because I mean everybody says this and it's true. Resident Evil kind of lost the sauce there for a while, especially with 4. I would say, well, 4 not 4, 5. 4 started getting away from Resident Evil a little bit, though it was still good from my understanding. Because I do know about like like, it goes away from being about like a zombie virus to like the parasite, and the setting is a little bit different too. It's outside of Raccoon City, because obviously what happens at the end of 3, right? Um, but 5 especially, it takes a different tone and starts being less of a horror game and more of almost like a spy thriller, fucking just action movie with zombies just in the background. Pretty much, it's less of an emphasis on it being a horror game and more of an action game. Um, with 5 and 6, but 7 was very much a return to its roots, where although 7 isn't your traditional like T virus or G virus or whatever the fuck. It's something completely different. It's like it's just called mold or some shit. What do they call it?
Yeah, it was like a fungus or some shit like that. It was like a fungus virus. So yeah, it was like the mold or some shit like that. Yeah.
They I mean it's still different, but I mean it being first person too, which is something they hadn't done before. Um but it's again extremely scary. It goes back to the beginning and just like the scale by the way, it like not only does it end up being like an action movie and stuff like that in like 5 and 6 and stuff, but it just gets fucking ridiculous, like story wise too. Um,
Like we all know that infamous fucking scene with Chris fucking literally punching a fucking
Boulder,
boulder.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude,
Like come on. It's cool, but it's not Resident Evil.
right. And not to mention all the shit that Wesker does and like his powers and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, that shit's
Yeah.
wild.
Wesker is fucking cool though.
He's badass.
He's badass, but he's not like Resident Evil.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's still cool though.
But what I'm getting at though is, and I don't know, I've heard mixed things on 8. I personally really like the story of 8. I thought it was really fucking cool. But even I think what I'm trying to get at is I think Resident Evil 9 is taking what I loved about Resident Evil 2 remake, which is how I got into Resident Evil, and combining that with what they've learned from doing 7 and 8. Especially, it's reminiscent of 8 because 8 brought back Chris, right? And he's like older and shit, and they're doing the same thing with Leon now. So it's like they're taking what they learned from 7 and 8, making that shit scary again, but then like combining it with 2. We're back to being third person again. You know, your two play style, or not play styles, but like two different stories going on. It's just a really good mesh of them. And I'm excited for this kind of reinvention of the series moving forward with 9, where I don't know, it almost feels like a next chapter for the series, and I'm just really excited to see whether I mean I gotta play it for myself. I'm not gonna watch a playthrough of it. That might be one of the first ones that I actually play for myself. But I'm really fucking excited for Resident Evil 9, dude. Uh,
Dude, oh my god, I fucking can't wait for that game, man. I cannot wait.
but yeah, it just feels like they're taking everything they've learned, you know, especially over the last 8 years or so since, because 2019 or 2018 is when they did the 2 remake, and when was 7? Was that like 2015?
16, something like that. It was 2017, right?
2017.
January 23rd.
So roughly, they're taking what they've learned over the last decade, and I feel like this is sort of like gonna. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be kind of one of the best series, like one of the best games in the series. I think.
It definitely has that fucking potential, man. Like, it's just the marriage of Resident Evil 4's badass fucking action gameplay and Resident Evil 7 and all the other ones before it, or not 5 and 6, but like not even 4, but like 1, 2, and 3, that horror fucking centric storytelling.
Sure.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's just the marriage of the badassery of Resident Evil 4 and even 5, you know, even 8, because 8 you do feel like an action superstar, and 8
Dude,
because
8 is fucking cool, dude.
bro, 8 is fucking dope, man.
Okay, so
Lady Dimitrescu,
you like 8.
I
A
love 8.
lot of
8 is
people
fucking
hate
dope.
8, and I don't.
8
I mean,
I very much enjoyed.
I think it's really fucking cool, dude. I mean,
Yeah, like I
Lady
don't think
Dimitrescu is whatever, but her daughters, dude, bro,
yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah,
dude.
creepy. I think the one thing I don't like about 8 is the no zombies, like the whole like werewolf esque. It just reminds me of like a different corner of that universe, like the whole Lovecraftian Bloodborne-ness of
Yeah, dude.
that universe.
You're
And I'm like, dude,
absolutely right, man.
I'm all fucking for it.
I've never made that connection. It is very Bloodborne with like the lichen
Even with
type.
even with the fucking the scenery or the scenery, like with the
Yeah,
castles and
dude.
the goth Lovecraftian
Well,
like
even like
shit. It's
the
awesome.
main villain, Mother Melinda or whatever her name is,
Yeah,
seems like a character, and like her powers and stuff seem like something straight out of. She's a Bloodborne boss, basically.
yeah,
Yeah, dude.
exactly,
I never
exactly.
thought about that. That's a good shout.
Yeah, I love, dude. Like I said, I like honestly. There isn't a Resident Evil besides 6 that I don't like of the main line, because controversial or not, I do like Resident Evil Raccoon City. That game fucking sucks, but I think that game is dope
Did
because it's like a
you like
four-player like.
Revelations?
Yeah, but the only exposure that I have to those games are through the 3DS, and they
Uh,
played like absolute shit.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, whenever I didn't have a console and all I had was a DS, I mean, yeah, they were all right, but nothing compared to, dude, RE4 remake is one of the fucking best action games of all fucking time.
But
It it is that fucking good, dude. Like fucking straight up. And I looked it up. It's actually $15 on sale, not 20
on
on
Steam?
Steam. On Steam.
I wonder if it's on sale because I feel like with that, I don't know. Would you recommend I play it on Steam or PlayStation?
Well, I mean, you have your controller. You're a controller guy,
Yeah,
obviously, right? Yeah, you could connect your controller to your PC and play it like that. I would play it through Steam personally because you're gonna get that graphic fidelity
true.
of it, and the reason why it's on sale, not because it was like a shitty fucking, it's not like Destiny where they're trying to sell you their newest fucking DLC for 60% off because it's not selling enough. Capcom wants you to go back and play 7, 8, 4 to get you familiar with this whole fucking new game they're coming out with, which is Requiem. Bro, I swear, I like if you're not playing any games currently right now, like I know you weren't really feeling New Vegas.
Uh,
Um,
I was thinking maybe we could touch on that. I forgot about that, but I wanted to talk to you because I haven't really talked to you a whole lot about that.
yeah, no, no, yeah, we could definitely talk about that, for sure. If you want to tag it on to the end of this episode, or if you want to do it off air.
Sure.
But if there's no games that you're currently playing right now, brother, I'm telling you, that game ain't fucking slow. It ain't clunky. That I'm telling you, if you like the Resident Evil franchise and you've never played 4 or even the remake,
Mm,
you gotta pick it up on sale right now on your PC. Like that, you will fucking love it. Like that game is dope. It's so fucking fun. It's has great replayability. It's not too long. The bosses are dope. They even add extra sections from the original into the remake to like kind of flesh it out more a little bit,
okay.
and you'll get to see where that whole like Leon gameplay for RE9 like comes from, because it comes from the remake of 4. And at
Gotcha.
fucking $15, I almost bought it again last night because I was so excited for RE9 that I was like, dude, I just want to play fucking Leon in a Resident Evil game. I think you would really enjoy it, dude. $15 is a fucking steal. You spend that at a McDonald's.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. I might get it then. I might. I
It's good,
just
dude.
might.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it's fucking fantastic. You will enjoy it. That's a game that I'm very confident on. If you do like that whole like world of RE, if you like Leon and you want a game that's action packed and it's not slow at all, you'll fucking love it. You'll love it. It's a good time.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, hey, we're was there anything else you wanted to talk about? Because I think we're at a little bit over 2 hours here.
Nah, man, I think that's pretty much it. We talked about everything. I definitely wanted to touch on the Game Awards, what I've been reading, and stuff that I wasn't really fucking with, man. But I'm definitely keeping it keeping the Batman on the pool. But no, man, that's pretty much it. I might just wrap up Devil May Cry 5 and fucking pick up a RE3 remake. Because
Or
that's only $10 on
four
sale.
remake, or 3 or 4.
3,
Oh,
because
because you
I've never
haven't
played
played.
a 1. I've never played RE1 or 3, and that's the only ones that I haven't played out of the entirety of the franchise. So
Gotcha.
3 remake is definitely one that I would like to play. Fuck, it's $10. You know what I mean? Why not?
Right.
So, but now that's pretty much it, brother. What about you? Anything you want to touch on before we dip out?
Nah, man. We'll talk about Fallout, but we could do that after the pod. That's fine. But yeah, man. I think we covered just about everything that you set out to do. Once again, keeping it pretty succinct, you know. Um,
Yeah, hell yeah.
but one thing I just want to put out there, guys. Next week, next week we got the Christmas special. Christmas is next week, y'all. But next week,
Same.
Monday, we'll be doing the Christmas special. We'll be filming it, which I can't wait for. That's like, dude, I am looking forward to that so much. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna be playing some games, some mini games here on the pod. We have some things that we're figuring out. Just some cool segments we're gonna do. We have both have gifts. So I sent Cameron something that he's got stashed away. He sent me something I can't wait to open. I have it put away in my closet. Um, yeah, I can't wait to open that up. It's just gonna be such a good time. So you guys probably won't see it on Christmas, or like it'll probably be the week after. But you know, it is what it is. It's still gonna be such a good time. So definitely check that out as soon as you guys are able to. Um, Berserk review for Golden Age is out. I know we talked about that earlier. This is the last shot, y'all. I know we said this last week, but we're taking a little bit of a break from Berserk, but we're picking it back up in January. So if you guys want to get on it while you've got a Christmas break going on and you have some free time to read, definitely blaze through that Black Swordsman arc, get through the Golden Age, and you'll be right on track with us for the new year. Um, yeah,
And
it's
for arguably the best part of Berserk, in my personal opinion, like after the Golden Age is great, but it gets way better in my opinion. Especially the Falcon and the Millennium Empire. It's
Millennium
fucking peak,
Falcon
dude.
arc.
Yeah, the Chewbacca arc,
Yep.
the Han Solo Chewbacca arc.
Yes, sir. But yeah,
But
guys. With that being said, I think we're gonna dip out. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, all that jazz. We got our shit in the description. You can check us out. Our both our channels, the Discord if you guys want to talk to us, or any of the other comic book homies that I have on there. Uh, that'd be sick. Just share us around, y'all. That sounded fucking gay. That's not what I meant. But
pause.
pause. Share the pod. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. Anyway.
And if there's anyone out there that's in the whole content creation space, if there's anyone out there and that wants to get on the pod, or if there's anyone that wants to talk to us, small, big, whatever. I mean, we're here to talk. We're here to talk about what we love at the end of the day. Video games, manga, comics, movies, anything like that. If there's anyone out there that wants to join the Library of the Sacred Keep Discord, which is Luke's Discord channel, you guys want to spark a conversation with us? Maybe you guys want to get on the pod. Let us know. We are more than welcome to, shoot the shit with you guys on the pod if you guys ever want to, have a feature on the pod itself. So don't be shy. Don't be afraid. It'll be fun if you guys want to, make a little cameo, or make a, even join us for a segment or two, or the whole pod. But yeah, with that being said, we appreciate it, guys. Don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to comment or like. We definitely want to get that podcast around. Um, Go look for that Berserk episode. We're gonna be having one coming out here in the next month. I would probably say, right? Yeah, probably a month.
You said it reads real quick though, right? The conviction.
Oh yeah, yeah, it does, and it's only eight volumes at
Okay.
that, so it'll be pretty quick.
All right.
So
Yeah. For
but
sure.
we appreciate you guys. It's always a good time to chop it up with my boy Luke here. It's always
Yes,
a good time.
sir.
Always feeling inspired after we get out of these. But yeah, appreciate you guys, man.
All right. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
Later, guys.